ISB Wednesday Bhagavad Gita class, online Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for joining from different parts of the world. So we'll start with a special song written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Let me share my screen so that you can see the lyric of the song. Okay. I hope that you can see my screen. So in Sharanagati book, it's a compilation of songs about surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there are 6 types of surrender. Anukalyasa sankalpam pratikalyasa varjanam rakshishvati vishwasha goptitya varanam tatha atmanikshepa karpanyam saravidya saranagataha. So based on that, 6 types of surrender are discussed in the Shastra, which is quoted by Srila Sanatana Goswami. One is you just accept what is favorable, you reject what is unfavorable. You consider that Krishna will maintain me whatever my situation is, and Krishna will also protect me, Rakshashvati Vishwasha. And you consider yourself very meek and humble, and you offer everything, mind, body, and words to the pleasure of Krishna. So these are 6 types of Sharanagati. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he actually wrote songs, many songs under each category, like Anukalyasa Sankalpa. So he wrote songs, 6-7 songs, even more than that, I cannot exactly recall. So on that category, then Pratikulyasa Bharjanam, that you reject everything which is unfavorable. So this song comes under the Goptritya Varana. It's the song 1 under the category of Goptritya Varana, which means that Krishna will maintain me, whatever external situation, which is kind of Krishna's vow also, right? In Srimad Bhagavad Gita we see 9:22, Anannas Chintayanto Yoma Yena Paryuparsate Teshang Nityabhyuktanam Yogakshemam Bhamyaham, that Krishna will maintain me if somebody, Anannas Chintayanta, if somebody is an undeviated mind, without thinking other things, like if somebody is executing pure devotional service, it's Krishna's vow to actually maintain what he has and provide what he lacks. So that's comes under the Goptritya Varnam. The devotee has to believe that, okay, Krishna will maintain me. It's not that I am doing it on my own or by my own potency. Rather, Krishna is actually providing everything. Actually, it is true for everyone, even though sometimes we see that somebody has got has done good karma, and that's why they are getting a lot of material opulence. That is true also, but Krishna also has to sanction. If Krishna doesn't sanction sometimes, then he can be also deprived of his the action or reaction of his karmas. Anyways, the point is, that is the mood of a devotee, that he believes that Krishna will maintain me. So this song, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj, he sings so beautifully. Actually, it comes under his Sharanagati album. So I will just first give you an idea about what this song is actually talking about, and then we can sing together. কি জানি কি বলে তোমার ধামে তো হইনু শরণাগত, তুমি দয়াময় পতিত পাবন পতিত তারণের হতো. I don't know by what force or by what strength I have come to your dham, means like your eternal place of pastimes, and I have surrendered unto you. You are very merciful. You are deliverer of the fallen conditioned souls, and you are always engaged to deliver these fallen conditioned souls. Patita Pavana, you are deliverer of the fallen condition, and you are Patita Taranirata. You are always engaged doing that. ভরসা আমারও এই মাত্র নাথ, তুমি তো করুণাময়, তব দয়াপাত্র নাহি মোর সম, অবশ্য ঘোচাবে ভয়. Oh my Lord, this is my like faith. Bharasha actually is kind of shraddha, or my faith, that you, my Lord, very karunamay, you are very merciful. Tabo dayapatro nahimor shobo. There is no one in this three universe who is more eligible than me to get your mercy. And you will definitely, by giving your mercy, you will take away my fear, my Bhaya means like my fear from the heart. And then he says, Amare torite kaharo shokoti oboni bhitore nahi, দয়ালো ঠাকুর ঘোষণা তোমারও অধমে অধম পামরে ত্রাহি. He says that in this earth or in this universe, Avani actually it's an earth, but you can say also it's earthly planet, or you can say universe also. Sometimes it's synonymous. So nobody in this earth who has the strength to deliver me. But you are very merciful, Dayalo Thakur. You have also broadcasted this. You advertise that you are engaged in delivering the wretched, the sinful people. So I'm in that category. So that's why I'm taking your shelter. সকল ছাড়িয়া আসিয়াছি আমি তোমারও চরণে নাথ, আমি নিত্যদাস তুমি পালয়িতা, তুমি গোপ্ত জগন্নাথ. I have forsaken everything and I have taken shelter unto your lotus feet. I am your eternal servant and you are my maintainer. Oh Lord, you are my maintainer, Jagannath, you are the Lord of the universe. So Paloita means you are the maintainer, and Gopta means you are the source of all kinds of maintenance. তোমরা তোমারও সকল আমি মাত্র দাস, আমারে তারিবে তুমি, আমারও তারিবে তুমি, মেবি আমারে, আর আমারও তারিবে তুমি, তোমারও চরণ করিনু বরণ, আমারও নাহি তো আমি. So everything is yours. I am only servant. So you will deliver me. Amare taribe tumi, tomaro chorono korino barano. I worship your lotus feet, or I took shelter of your lotus feet. I am not mine. I am everything I have given unto your lotus feet, or everything I have sold unto your lotus feet. Bhakoto binodo kandiya shorono loyeche tomaro paye, khomi oporad name ruchi dia palona korohe tai. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that he has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, in a weeping manner, like very meek and humble way, with tears in his eyes. So he is asking that please forgive my offenses, give me test in holy name, and maintain me. That is my request. So this is the category of Gotrita Bharana. So let's sing together. You can also follow me. I think it's difficult to sing call and response, especially if we don't have jamalas, and I will be just singing with my voice. I don't think I will use any kartal. Okay. Ki jani ki bole তোমার ধামেতে হইনু শরণাগত, কি জানি কি বলে তোমার ধামেতে হইনু শরণাগত, তুমি দয়াময় পতিত পাবন, পতিত তারণে রত, ভরসায় আমার এই মাত্র নাথ, তুমি তো করুণাময়, তব দয়া পাত্র নাহি মোর সম, অবশ্য ঘুচাবে ভয়, আমার তারিতে কাহার শকতে, অবনি ভিতরে নাহি, দয়ালো ঠাকুর ঘোষণা তোমার, অধম পামরে ত্রাহি, সকল ছাড়িয়া আসিয়াছি আমি তোমারও চরণে নাথ, আমি নিত্য দাস, তুমি পালয়িতা, তুমি গোপ্তা জগন্নাথ, তোমার সকল আমি মাত্র দাস, আমার তারিবে তুমি, তোমার চরণ করিনু বরণ, আমার নহিত আমি ভকতি বিনোদ, কাঁদিয়া শরণ লয়েছে তোমার পায়, ক্ষমি অপরাধ নামে রুচি দিয়া, পালন কর হে তাই, কি জানি কি বলে তোমার ধামেতে হইনু শরণাগত, তুমি দয়াময় পতিত পাবন, পতিত তারণে রত। Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. So actually we will, because this month the chapter a day for Bhagavad Gita is 16th chapter, so we'll read from 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita today. Maybe we'll do the whole chapter translation reading, and then, excuse me, we'll discuss some of the topics. Very important chapter. Actually, all chapters of Bhagavad Gita are important, but this is a special chapter where the divine and demoniac natures are described, especially demoniac natures, the evolution of demoniac nature. Even though Bhagavan Lord Krishna, he has started this chapter with divine qualities, but actually he expanded the chapter with demoniac nature, and how they operate in this material world. What is demoniac consciousness, like that? Yeah. So let's start. Before that, maybe we can do a Mangalachan prayer, and then we can start. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayang Rupakadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Siyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangsho Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Scha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Yong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatto Desho Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyayevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālaṁ pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinotaranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyameshwaram. Hare Krishna. Thanks to the devotees who joined so far. So we'll read the translation of chapter 16. Yes, just a second. Can anybody tell the name of this chapter in Sanskrit? What it is called in Sanskrit?
That name in the Sanskrit, Prabhu, you want?
Yes, Mataji, if you can remember.
It's, I know that us. Give me 1 sec. I know the name, Prabhu. Suddenly you ask and I forgot.
Yes, Mataji.
Dev Dano, no, Deva Asuras Sampada Vibhagyo.
Correct. Yes, very nice. Deva Asura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga. Yeah, means like Deva and Asura, they are actually together, they form that Sandhi and they are called Asura. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So you want to start, Mataji, reading 5 verse? Maybe you can read 5 verse, first 5
Sure,
verse.
Prabhu. Text 16, the divine and demonic nature. Text 1, 2, 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion of honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pritha. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So William Prabhu, are you able to read? I see that William Prabhu also joined.
Yeah, you want me to start
Yes.
from
6 to 10.
16:6?
No, 6 to 10.
All right. O son of Pritha, in this world there are 2 kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. 16:7. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Ruby Mataji, you want to read 11 to 15?
Let me know, okay?
Yeah.
11, 12. They believe that to gratify the senses, the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, anxiety is
Mataji, your voice is actually breaking. Mataji, your voice is breaking. Can't hear you properly. Yeah. So maybe Rohini Dulal Prabhu, if you're available, can you please read? 11.
Sure.
Sorry, Mataji. Yeah.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yes, perfect.
They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. The demoniac person thinks, so much of wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhalika Prabhu, are you able to actually read? I see that Prabhu has joined also. From 16 to 20. Yes. You can read Prabhu, Prabhalika Prabhu, 16 to 20. Can't hear.
Thus perplexed by various and angstics
Anxieties. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
and bound by a network of illusions, they became too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Self complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige. They sometimes proudly performed sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demons became envious of the supreme personality of Godhead, who is situated on their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the foolest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material extincts, into various demonic species of life, attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demonic life. O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of extinction.
Great. Good job. Very good job. Okay, so I will read the last 4 verses. There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Om Tat Sat. Thank you everyone for participating in Gita reading Yagya. So now let's actually take a look at what Lord Krishna is actually talking to Arjuna. In this chapter, you don't see anything, spoken by Arjuna. It's all about Lord Krishna is speaking, right? Everything is spoken by him. And he is talking about, starting with divine qualities. So can anybody recall anywhere else Lord was actually talking about divine qualities or qualities of an elevated personality in Bhagavad Gita? Anywhere you recall? Where else actually Lord Krishna speaks about high qualities of the elevated personalities or saintly personalities? Anywhere?
When he defines what is knowledge, he talks about this amanitvam, adambitvam,
Yes.
ahimsa, shantirarjavam. That verse.
Excellent. Very good point. 13th, I think 8 to 12. There are 20 qualities, 20 subject matters of knowledge are there. And they are actually the qualities. That means these are subject to be known. Other things he did not emphasize. And these are very relevant to devotional qualities as well. Anywhere else? Just, just some brain exercise. It brings our attention to the class. Otherwise, online is difficult. Yeah. Anyways, in 12th chapter, the end of 12th chapter, he describes very high qualities of the devotees who are actually in devotional service. I forgot the starting verse. Anyways, but he describes actually 24 qualities of their high qualities. And then in 9th chapter also, in 7th chapter also, he describes some of the qualities, means like here and there. But the vivid description comes in 13th chapter, in 12th chapter, and here also in 16th chapter. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mahapuran also in many places, he describes about these divine qualities. In Kapila Shiksha also we see that Titiksha Karunikeva, and then in Navayogendra pastimes also we see that I forgot which Navayogendra, maybe Habi Yogendra. He describes the 3 types of devotees, and there he elaborated the qualities of a Uttamadhikari, and then he speaks about those qualities. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he speaks these qualities to Sanatana Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, and yeah, he expands them. Yeah. Anyways, the point is these qualities, they are kind of a byproduct in a devotee. However, this material world, the material world, Lord Krishna actually given an ideal system of life, which is the Varnashrama system. 4 Varnas and 4 ashramas. 4 Varnas are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. 4 ashramas are Brahmacharya, Grihastya, Banprastha and Sannyas. So these 4 Varna and 4 ashramas, they live or they constitute an ideal society. And in that ideal society, these qualities are available. However, for a particular ashrama or a particular class of people, Varna means actually class of people, maybe all qualities are not available. Maybe some qualities are less prominent, some qualities are more evident for a particular class or particular ashrama. Ashrama means what in English? It's like phase of life, right? Ashrama, I don't know. Ashrama means like in like a temple or that is also ashrama, but I don't know actually. Chaturvarna Maya Shishtam Guna. I cannot recall what is the English of ashrama. Anyways, but the point.
Stage of life, Prabhu.
Stage of life,
Stage of
exactly. Stage of life, yeah. So thank you, Mataji. So yeah, anything Rohini Dular we wanted to add?
I mean, the literal meaning is shelter. So a person takes shelter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, thank you, Prabhu. So this stage of life and the class of people, maybe some qualities are prominent in some class and some ashrama, where the others are not. So Lord Krishna, he starts with the qualities of actually sannyasis. The first quality he speaks is fearlessness. So the fearlessness is a quality of a sannyasi, because a sannyasi, he is not dependent on anyone other than Lord Krishna. So if somebody has a fear, out of fear, we actually hoard money, we make retirement plan, we make, we take insurance. Yeah, we live under the, under the shed or roof of a very beautiful house, which can protect us. Because it's all because of fear. When we don't have fear, then we may not make actually so much futuristic plan, right? So sannyasi, that's why they live day to day. They don't have any, very big plan. Okay, like when I stop preaching, I will actually reside in a very opulent house, and then I will have like 4 servants to serve me. Not like that. They're completely dependent on Krishna. If Krishna fits, they will eat. If Krishna doesn't fit, they will not eat. They will just fast. Just like, Sripad Madhavendra Puri, who was a Paramahansa sannyasi. There are different types of sannyasi also. Excuse me. 4 types of sannyasis are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. One is Kutichaka, who lives with his wife, but they live separately. There is no, sensual connection, but they live in a forest. They in a small thatched hut. They cook every day with whatever resources they have, a small thing. And then Bahudaka means somebody who is actually living by begging. They go door to door, do madhukari, accumulate the bhiksha or the food items, then cook it, offer it to the Lord, and then they take it. And then Paribrajakacharya, who doesn't stay in one place, who goes one place to another, and then he just gives knowledge to other devotee, other people, so that they come to the platform of devotional service as well. And then Paramahansa, who is the topmost in the topmost platform, who has a direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Madhavendra Puripad was Paramahansa, and when he was fasting, Lord came, himself to feed him. So that is very elevated consciousness, and he had a vow of Ajagara Vritti. Ajagara Vritti means like the python, it doesn't eat by itself. Let's say it doesn't, hunt. It just stay in one place, and something comes, and it just, gobbles it up, and then it digests it for a long time. It takes a lot of time to swallow it completely and digest it. Anyway, so he has Ajagar Vritta, Ajachaka Vritta, means like he will not ask for anything. So this sannyas quality is the very important quality is fearlessness. That's why this sannyasi, we give so much respect, because they are not only like brahmanas are considered the topmost among the classes of people, right? That Mukho Bahu Uru Padebhya Purusha Shastramai Saha Chattara Yogira Varna Gunuri Vipradaya Prithak. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mahapuran, it is spoken that Lord's mouth or Lord's face is actually Brahmana. Lord's shoulder, hands, they are Kshatriya. Lord's thighs and belly, they are Vaishyas. And Lord's legs are Shudras. They came from Lord's legs. In fact, in our what is that? Purusha Shukta also we speak the same. So the Brahmanas are top. So if you don't have head, if you don't have face, you cannot eat, or whole body's nourishment will be gone, the intelligence will be gone. The other limbs, without other limbs, we can survive to some extent. But without head, it cannot be. So the Brahmanas are top. However, sannyasis are actually considered even the spiritual master of Brahmana. They are meant to actually teach also Brahmanas. Those who are completely renounced, that's why they are highly regarded in a society, in a standard society, spiritual society. So that is one thing. And then purification of one's sense. The Sanskrit is Avayam Sattva Samsuddhir, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthita. So Sattva Samsuddhi means the purification of existence. And it doesn't only mean purification of your body or mind. It's all body, mind, internal, external, words. So as it is said, in Shastra, it is said that the purification of your mind will be actually done by the process of chanting. Like when we chant with full attention, it purifies our mind. Our mind stops going here and there. The purification of senses is done by honoring Mahaprasadam. If we honor Mahaprasad, that actually satiates our whole body, whole mind, satisfies us, and we won't actually go here and there to satisfy our senses, because senses are untamed, right? It's very difficult to tame them. Among them, mind is the topmost. Anyway, then the third is the purification of body. which is done by taking oblation, taking bathe. That's why after bathing, we actually do achman. That's also a purificatory process. And in that achman, we have like different mantras. We do mantra shuddhi also, the purification through mantra. Apavitra, pavitra, vasarva, vastangato piva. Just like that. And also we chant different Vishnu mantras. Keshvaya namah, Narayana namah, Madhavaya namah, Govindaya namah. Just like that. When we chant those names and put tilaka and do achmana, it actually purifies our body. After taking bath, of course. And then the purification of ego, it is done by the association of devotees. So when you associate with devotees, you know that somebody is your senior devotee, and he or she may actually ask you to do something which may not be, you may not feel comfortable, or you may think that, oh, why that person is asking me to do that, or it may not actually please you. The bottom line is, it may be unpleasant to you. But if you say, oh, I don't want to do it, then you are losing that person's attention, right? We should be under the attention of advanced devotees or senior devotees. So then Krishna will put attention to us. But if you acquiesce to their request, or if we become submissive and follow their instructions, then they will be happy. And by that, Krishna will be happy. So our ego will be purified by the association of the devotees. So this purification is an identity of a sannyasi. He should be, by his kaya manavakya, karu udbegna dive, like he should not give anxiety to anyone through his mind, body, or words. The other classes of people, sometimes they have to give it, but a sannyasi should be such a personality that through his association, people will get inspiration. And that's why he needs purity. Purity is the force. It actually drives everything. If you don't have force, then you cannot make the acceleration, and then things will be just like that. It will not move. Okay. Then cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Jnana yoga vyavasthitihi. So it is said that sannyasi, he is already learned in the Shastras. Sannyasi means like highest order of devotees. Actually, Paramahansa are highest order. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said actually sannyasis are also in the jurisdiction of Varnashrama system. They are not beyond it, but Paramahansas are beyond that Varnashrama. So that's why the injunctions of a society is not applicable to them. They are beyond it. However, in that society, sannyasis are, as they are of the highest order, so they have highest knowledge also. Highest order, someone is not based on age, or not based on external situation. Somebody has to be qualified to take the position of a sannyasi. It's not like, okay, I want to be a sannyasi. I don't have any qualification. Now I took sannyas mantra and I started, I took sannyas garb, like, the saffron cloth. I started wearing dhoti like a sannyasi and chadar, and I become, no, it's not like that. He has to have that power to give knowledge about Krishna to anyone. Not necessarily he has to quote like thousands of verses. Not necessarily. That is not necessary. Many of Srila Prabhupada's God brothers, they knew thousands of verses there, but they did not prefer to quote it. They did not quote it. They just spoke, simply so that people can understand. But they were very, very expert, erudite scholars. Anyways, so not necessarily he has to, but he has to be aligned with the Guru Parampara, the teachings of Guru Parampara. He has the import of the knowledge which is coming from the disciplic succession. The Sampradaya Bani Vaibhav in Sanskrit, it says like the opulence of the disciplic succession, the opulence of knowledge. If that is not there in their heart, then it is difficult to give that knowledge to the next generation. And that is one of the responsibilities of sannyasis. That's why they don't stay in one place, right? Paramahansas, they can stay in one place, like they can be bhajananandi. But sannyasis, they are supposed to actually, visit from one place to another. Parivrajaka acharya. Anyways, so then comes, I hope that you can see my screen, right? Okay, actually, let me stop sharing screen because it's not helpful here. Then comes the charity, dana, right? So it is said, Srila Prabhupada actually mentions in the purport, the charity is the responsibility of Grahastha Ashrama people. The people who are in householder life, for them to give charity to other class of people is necessary. Because if you consider brahmachari, brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyas, they don't work. They don't work for their maintenance. So then who is working in the society? Grihastha. And most of the people in the society are Grihastha. And that will be, the natural situation in any society, that most of the people will be in Grihastha ashrama. So they will earn, and they should be very generous to give charity or to maintain other class of people. However, then Lord Krishna also mentions in next chapter, the charity should not be done indiscriminately. Somebody should be very prudent to give charity, whom to give charity, what is the purpose of the charity, what place, what time, what occasion, because it's also a sacrifice, dana yagya. So that sacrifice should be done with proper time, with proper mood, with a mood of not, getting, desiring anything in return. It's just as a duty, as a religious injunction that you are following in religious injunction. So you do charity, and that's a grihastha ashrama, duty. Then comes dhamma, self-control. Now, among these four ashramas, ashrama is like a stage of life, brahmachari, vanaprastha, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. Grihastha people has liberty to do sense enjoyment. Like in my home, I go to grocery and I can buy any vegetable I like, not necessarily any vegetable Krishna likes. And I impose my likings upon Krishna. I know Jagannath, our deities are Jagannath, Baladev, Sudarshan, Gornitai, and Radha Madhav. So I think, like, whatever I like, they have to also accept it as bhoga. And then I buy it. But in a temple, is not a restaurant. There, the authority, whatever they cook, whoever who are subordinate, they should actually follow it. Vaisheshika Maharaj was in one of his classes. I think it's, or maybe my Guru Maharaj, he was speaking about, Vaisheshika Maharaj, I know. Anyways, I heard this pastime where in Kolkata temple, the president was feeding the devotees, the young brahmachari devotees, very simple prasadam, dal, rice, some simple sabji. And Prabhupada got to know about it, and he was very disappointed. He said, like, these people, these devotees, they left everything behind and joined Krishna consciousness. They are coming from very high, elevated background, and you are feeding them like that. That is their only enjoyment in Krishna consciousness, to honor opulent Krishna Prasad, and you are actually not depriving them from that as well. So yeah, sometimes we have that luxury to choose, especially those who are in Grihasthashram, but those who are living in temple and in matha, they have a very austere life. They have to accept whatever is available. They don't, I don't eat that thing, I don't eat paneer, but that is the only item which is cooked that day. It will be difficult for you, right, to maintain. So that self-control is mainly applicable for the grihasthas, because they have a luxury, or they have that opportunity to explore their senses, especially with their opposite sensual attraction. They have that liberty. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that as quoting Lord Krishna's injunctions in the 7th chapter, that that sense enjoyment should be done only to procreate Krishna conscious child. So this is self-control, that even though you are very close to the opposite sex people, but you are not attracted to them sensually so much. You will control your desire to gratify the senses. And then performance of sacrifice, that is also for the Grihastha ashram, Agnihatra, Adi, different sacrifices are meant to be done by the Grihastha people. Then study of the Vedas, which is a brahmachari responsibility. And then austerity tapascharya, you see, it is meant for the Vanaprastha people, because when you take Vanaprastha, you are supposed to actually suddenly jump from relatively opulent status of life to a very austere life. We see that Dhritarashtra, when he took Vanaprastha, he went to forest with his wife, he went there and he lived in a thatched hut without any servant, any support. But all throughout his life, he lived in a very opulent state, right? That's why the training in brahmacharya is very important. If you are not trained in brahmacharya to perform austerity, at the end of life you cannot do it. Actually, it's not practical. Anyway, so it is for tapasya, right? What is that? Austerity. Yeah. Then arjavam, simplicity. Simplicity is applicable for every devotees, every sphere of life. We should, that Prabhupada motto, simple living, high thinking. Even though it's actually easy to say, but when it's actually difficult to actually implement, I can practically say for myself that I try to see it, simple, but the mood of passion of this corporate life and everything, that actually makes it more complicated. It pushes me to a direction where I may not actually prefer to go. Anyways, but this is the life, simplicity. Yeah, but we should actually at least keep in mind that how we can make things simple. Non-violence, that is also applicable for everyone. So Srila Prabhupada said ahimsa or non-violence means that you are not killing anyone or hurting anyone and not obstructing their natural progress, natural evolution in the life cycle. It's true that soul is indestructible. It cannot be created. However, we are not supposed to obstruct anyone's natural evolution, because somebody in a particular body, that means they are there to actually subdue or they suffer their karma, not to suffer or enjoy their karma. So we should not kill, or we should not stop that process by force. Okay, and then truthfulness, non-violence, truthfulness. This is also satya. Satya is actually a very high quality, which is seen in Brahmana. Because samadama tapas socha shanti arjavam evava gyan vijnana astikyam brahma karma samavacha. Yeah, actually Satya doesn't come there directly, but Satya is a Brahmanical quality. That's why in the Javala Sattakam pastime, I don't know how many of you have heard that pastime, pastime of Satyakam. Satyakam, his name was Satyakam, means like, true sense enjoyment, true, enjoyment of senses. So Satyakam, he went to get lessons from his teacher, from a very elevated Brahmana, who was very learned in one of the branches of Vedas, Gautama Muni. And he was asked that, son, what actually class you are from? Because I only teach Brahmanas this knowledge, because these Shruti mantras, this should be heard by those who has Upanayanam samskara. That's why it's very important to go through this purificatory process, samskara, because if we don't have samskara, then we cannot elevate to the higher class of people. Even in our society also, when we take that diksha, that is a samskara. That's also like those who say take second initiation, they also go through the Upanayanam samskara, right? Take the Brahmin thread and get the mantra in the ear. Anyway, so the point is, and Satyakam went to Gautam Muni. Gautam Muni asked, what is your family background? Are you a Brahmana or like that? Then Satyakam went to his mother. Her mother was a maid servant. She used to work for different people. And her name was Javala. So Javala told that, son, I don't know who is your father. What is your class? I served in many people's house, and because previous time, sometimes Kshatriyas, they used to keep maid servants, and they used to produce children through them also. So that time, so I got blessings from someone. I don't know who it is, but that's how you took your birth. You were born. So he went back to his teacher, Gautama Muni, and told the same thing, that I don't know what is my identity. My mom told that, this is how she got me, and I was born like that, and this is the truth. And then Gautama said, beta, like, son, you're definitely a Brahmana. Other than a Brahmana, nobody can actually accept this kind of truth. It's very unpalatable, right? Somebody, he doesn't know his father, what is his family, doesn't know anything. But he was so like unafraid to speak that in front of his teacher, in front of other students also. And that qualified him as a Brahmana. So Satyam, it's a Brahminical quality, but everybody should practice it. That's another thing. Freedom from anger. So anger actually vitiates our consciousness. When we are in angry mood, we cannot take a good, prudent decision or very intelligent, decision. We cannot. So we should be very careful, and we should not be angry unnecessarily. Also, some people become angry without any reason. Renunciation. So this is vairagya. So renunciation is also practiced, especially those who are in brahmacharya, banaprastha, and sannyas ashram. They should practice renunciation because they should not accumulate things. Renunciation means like you are attached to the things. You cannot, like discard them from your mind or your users. It may not be necessary, but still you carry it. Tranquility, that's also important, because if you want to do sadhana, you have to also be calm, peaceful. If you're disturbed, if you're, like upudruta, always disturbed, Kali Yuga people's quality, then you cannot do sadhana. You will see that, time is just flying away. There is no time for you to sadhana, and then you will slack. Then aversion to fault finding. Fault finding is a quality or is a responsibility of only spiritual master. If you are not in the position of a spiritual master, you should not do fault finding. Like Guru na sasya, Janani na sasya, Devo na sasya, Pita na sasya, na mochayat. If somebody cannot actually give you the liberation or give you the bondage of life, birth, old age, death, and disease, they should not take position of spiritual master, father, mother, or demigods, those who are accepting worship from us. So these are the people who will correct us, or correct, who has the responsibility. But we will not just go on our own accord and impose, you are doing it. Maybe sometimes for service sake we should, but not like where it is not our jurisdiction. We may see something is faulty, but I think in course of time, it will get rectified when that person becomes elevated. I'll give you an example. One time, so Prabhupada was with his some of his Western disciples, and then one of his Srila Prabhupada's, I don't want to name, Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers disciple came to visit Srila Prabhupada. Actually, I think he's also very famous sannyasi. So he saw people are actually spitting on their hand and then putting tilak. And then putting that tilak. But he despised this because he comes from a very advanced Brahminical cultural family. And all throughout his life, he lived in India. And, he associated with people who are very elevated in cultural background also. So he saw that it kind of egged him. So he said, like, what you are doing? Srila Prabhupada said that you don't know from what background actually they have come. They are in these saffron cloth, they are living in the temple, they are worshipping daily, they are chanting every day. By course of time they will get rectified, don't worry. But if you think that from where they have come to this platform, you will be appreciating them more than despising their activities. So this is the tolerance, and this is the way to actually rectify. Because when you advance, you associate with advanced devotees, you know that this is not something you should actually do. You should actually correct your form. Okay, compassion for all living entities. So compassion means preaching. It's synonymous. Compassion means preaching by your example, by your actions, by your words, by your mind, by your body, everything you use for people's compassion is not like only building hospital. Like one of my relatives was telling that why ISKCON is not building hospitals or schools. I don't like ISKCON has hospitals and school, but it's not our goal to actually establish modern schools and hospitals everywhere. Yeah, that will protect our body, but our responsibility is actually to protect our soul, to elevate our consciousness. So if that is not done, the other things are done, then it will be just like any charitable organization, missionaries of charities or anything like that. Our goal is to actually liberate the conditioning of the soul, the sickness of the soul. So if that is in the focus, and the other things sometimes you don't need hospital, you need also school, then it is okay, and it should not be our focus. Yeah. Nobody should consider that ISKCON is a organization of hospitals or schools. Yes. So, okay. Freedom from covetousness. Okay, that's a very important quality. That it's also synonymous to say simplicity. That devotees, they they have that integrity, that they do what they say. Not only that they say what they do, that is honesty. Integrity is one level high, so they have the integrity, and that's why, especially those who are in renounced order of life, they should not have any private life. There is no life behind the door for them. They should be always under observation, actually, because those lives are very, very flimsy. They can fall down anytime, and the fall down will be very high repercussion. Grihastha ashram is not like that, because husband and wife are watching each other. So they will be under check. But for the brahmacharis, that's why there is no private life. There should be always. I saw that in many ashrams, the devotees, like most of the ashrams, the brahmacharis, they don't have any private room. Like 2, 3, 4, they live together just like a dormitory. Okay, gentleness. Yeah, we should abide by the laws of the society. The society actually teaches us gentleness, modesty. It doesn't teach us to be like a very arrogant, very proud, egoist person. So we should actually follow that. And a steady determination. There will be ups and downs in life, but we should actually withstand those waves of life. That's very high quality. Vigor. We should not think like, okay, this material life is only to just, sleep or slack or, take enjoyment. We should take some effort, some goal, some actions to achieve some, goals, both material and spiritual, especially those who are in Grihastha ashram. As I told you that there should be some material goal also, but the spiritual goal also needs vigor. And forgiveness. It's only Vaishnavas, Shama, Dama, Tapa, Shaucha. Sorry, Shama, Dama, Tapa, Shaucha. So Shama is one of the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. That means he doesn't keep anything in heart. He forgets it. He thinks that the offenses, that's why the devotees, they don't take offenses. However, Krishna take offenses on behalf of the pure devotees. So we should be very careful, but the devotees are forgiving by nature. Fortitude, cleanliness, as I said, cleanliness, I think in the beginning I also said, fortitude also, like we should have, or what is Sanskrit is what I forgot. Dhriti. Okay, so Dhriti, I forgot actually fortitude. What is it meant by that? But cleanliness, I know that cleanliness is Shuchita, means that especially the Vaishya, mercantile quality people, they should maintain cleanliness in their dealings. They should be honest. They should not earn money by any hook or crook or by any dishonest mean. And then freedom from envy and from the passion of honor. This is actually a Shudra quality. The Shudras, they may need to actually do very low work. But by doing low work, they cannot expect that high regard. That when the wages, those who are doing actually the household works, may not be high, and may not be they get too much respect. But they should not expect also. That is the point. Okay. So these are transcendental qualities, and for a society to subsist, in a balanced way, these qualities should be flourished, and these qualities should be exhibited by different class or different stages of people. So that is the point. And when these qualities are flourished in the society, that society prospers, that society propitiate. Otherwise, it will just go down. Which are the qualities of the demoniac culture? Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. These are the qualities of demoniac people. So yeah, just let's take a break here, and let's hear from some devotees, those who are in the call, if they have anything to share, anything to actually emphasize, or anything to rectify, anything to comment. Please go ahead.
I wanted to ask, in certain histories like Itihasas, or even in the Srimad Bhagavatam, or in the Gita and the Mahabharata, you see sometimes like what we'll consider demoniac species, or like some like Duryodhana, Ravan, sometimes they display qualities that you see in the mode of goodness, or what you'll say divine qualities. How do you reconcile that? How do we reconcile that as sadhakas?
Yeah, very good question, Prabhu. Yes, sometimes that's why in the modes of nature, we when we read, right, like the Satyagun Rajagun, I forgot the name of the chapter actually. Anyways, in that chapter, Lord Krishna says that sometimes mood of goodness become prominent. Sometimes mood of passion becomes prominent. So not all the time you will be like in passionate mood. Like in Hiranyakashipu pastimes, when his brother Hiranyaksha died, and he came to console his family, Hiranyaksha's wife and his mother, everyone he was counseling, he was giving a very high level of Sankhya philosophy, which he did not believe himself. Because if he would have believed that philosophy, that our soul is indestructible, dying means only death of the body, then he would not have actually tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj, right, in so many ways. So he did not believe it himself. So sometimes these demoniac people, they can also speak like a very saintly personality. Yeah, they can. But Shuddhataya Vibhaga Yoga. No, Shuddhataya Vibhaga is actually in the next chapter, I think. That Prakrita Purusha and Viveka Yoga. No, that is 13th chapter. 14th chapter, what is that? This,
3 modes of material nature, Prabhu.
yes, but in Sanskrit, I was looking for Sanskrit. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. But there is something name I forgot. So
3 modes of material nature.
Yes. Yeah.
Just 1 minute, Prabhu.
Yes. So yeah. So that is yeah. That's what I'm telling. That this sometimes they may exhibit, but ultimately they are demoniac. Why?
Yeah.
Because
It's
they are not
Gunatraya
following.
Vibhaga Yoga, Prabhu.
Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Thank you, Mataji. You see that I'm not studying nicely Bhagavad Gita. I'm forgetting. Anyways, but the point is, ultimately, why they are demoniac? Because they are not following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ultimately, what they are doing, and that is the conclusion of this chapter also, that those people who are not following the rules and regulations of the scriptures all the time, they are of demoniac nature. Maybe sometimes to get something, like they also do fire sacrifice. Like we see that also demons do fire sacrifice. They also do tapascharya. We see Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, everybody actually did tapascharya. But for what? To get something material. That is, the tapascharya in mood of ignorance. That is dana. They do sacrifice to get something in return. Like Ravana, he offered his head. What? To get some special benediction from Lord Shiva. Or maybe Lord Brahma.
So consciousness is very important for doing the
Exactly.
anything that we are doing.
Exactly. So that's why the consciousness is like, driven by mood of passion and ignorance. So apparently maybe they're doing something good, but the ultimate result is, that's why Vaisheshika Maharaj says, like, it's not what you do, it's how you do it that is more important. I hope that it answers your question, Prabhu, William Prabhu, that you're asking about.
Yeah, that works. That help reconcile some. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why their action may not define their intention. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. Okay. Any other thing anyone wants to share? Actually, these demoniac people, they do more austerity than general devotee. They do austerities which are even unthinkable to us.
Yeah,
But
it's mentioned in this chapter only, Prabhu, that they do atrocity, saying that, okay, I have killed my enemies, and I will do this, and I'll get more money, and I'll accumulate more wealth.
Right. Yeah, this beautiful actually chapter. I can completely align it with myself and the people around me, especially in a place like Bay Area where mood of passion is very predominant. You'll see that people are always goal oriented. They are running after accumulating a lot of wealth, and that's what Vaisheshika Maharaj says, right? The people have so much money, but they don't know where to spend it, how to spend it. Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's how to use that for higher cause, which can give them satisfaction. Yeah. Anything, Mataji, you want to share? Venugita Mataji or Rohini Dulal Prabhu, Robi Mataji, Probalika Prabhu. Anyone wants to share anything?
Wonderfully explained, Prabhu. All the qualities you really. And this, I believe that qualities when you are explaining it, it really gave a perspective. Those qualities are explained in a way that you really imbibe them in yourself. That was reflected very clearly, Prabhu.
I hope. Thank you for your blessings, Mataji. Maybe someday. Rohini Dulal Prabhu, you wanted to say something?
So something connected to the Paramahamsa, I mean the sannyasi, 4 stages of sannyasa. I was recently reading and I was trying to reflect. So there is a chapter in 7th canto, the behavior of a perfect person, ideal person. So there,
That was Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yes, correct. Yeah.
so there in one of the purports, Prabhupada explains the Paramahamsa stage. It's not for Mayavadi sannyasis, it's only for Vaishnava sannyasis, because they don't have this Bhagavan realization. They can't come to the Paramahamsa stage.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Yes. Paramahamsa means like somebody who can actually, there is milk and water mixed together, but the Hamsa, the Paramahamsa will accept only the milk. It will discard the water. So the Paramahamsa is such a personality, because this material world is full of negativity also, right? But the Paramahamsa only accepts the positive things. He somehow or other ignores them, or he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. Actually, the good definition is he doesn't see it. Uttam Bhakta doesn't see any negative quality in this material world. He sees everything in connection with Krishna and everything as an energy of Krishna. Even something is external energy, but it's still energy of Krishna. So that darshan, that vision is called Vaikuntha darshan, which is the ultimate, the vision of a devotee, or which should be an ultimate goal of our life, that we see everyone serving Krishna. Yeah, it's easy, not easy. But in Madhyamadikari stage, in sadhana stage, we should be discriminatory. We should see who is favorable, who is unfavorable in that way. Not judge, but we should understand it.
Prabhuji, you were mentioning about a point. I mean, unless one practices austerity during the early stage, like brahmacharya stage, it may not be practical for him to do austerities later during vanaprastha stage. So as grahasthas, we aspire to become proper vanaprasthas. But how do we see this? We don't have sufficient brahmacharya training also. So it was a little discouraging when you said that.
Yeah, I think it may not be applicable for everyone, but most of the people, if they don't have like certain brahmachari background where they have the training to accumulate less, to live in an austere life, austere lifestyle, it's not practical to take actually Banaprastha. That's why how many of in our society do you think like they take Banaprastha? Not many, because it's not practical. And even Srila Prabhupada also told, like, these people who are coming from very opulent background, if you actually give them very austere lifestyle in the beginning, they may not think it is practical for them. Like I go to my native country, I visit there, I feel uncomfortable when there is no AC or there is no geyser. I feel uncomfortable. It's not that I never lived like that. I lived like that all throughout my life before coming to Western country. But now I am not habituated with that it anymore, that kind of condition. So, but still I can kind of acclimatize to some extent. But I don't expect Mandali to actually do that. My daughter, she cannot do it at any cost. Maybe even if she grows up, it will be impossible for her to actually get accustomed to that kind of situation. So that training is helpful. I will say that it's necessary if you want to actually do that kind of austerity. But our goal is to not to do austerity. We just have to do austerity which is necessary for our sadhana. Not like that Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Banaprastha, that is a little advanced level of austerity, like living in the forest. However, we can live in home and we can practice the same thing, like same austerity, like, not getting intimate with our wife or spouse, or not focused on our job because you retire from your job life. You focus on your sadhana. That is also Banaprastha. It should not be official. Like sannyasi, like Keshav Bharati Maharaj, he was visiting us, right? And he was telling that even Vaisheshika Maharaj's house is the place of pilgrimage for sannyasis. That means how much he regarded his, his position as a devotee. It's not like a cheap, certificate. It's a very high realization that what he really felt. So he is, even though apparently he is in a grahastha ashram, but he's in a topmost level of consciousness, right? So artificially, we don't have to officially do it, but I'm talking with respect to what Srila Prabhupada actually mentions, that it is meant for Banaprastha, the tapascharya, which is very, very austere. Like in 14th chapter or 15th chapter we saw, right? The 13th chapter of first canto, the Dhritarashtra, he was doing a special meditation. He actually ignited fire from his body. So what kind of pranayam he was doing, or hatha yoga he was doing, which ignited fire within body. And it's just not like that I started today and tomorrow I will get perfection. Yeah, it took some time. So that is austerity. That anyways, the point is, Prabhu, don't worry about it. Okay, when time comes, you know actually what to do for yeah, go through that stage of life.
Prabhuji, can I comment on this actually?
Yes, please.
Yes, you did mention, and I'm assuming most of us, whoever is today present, have had been brahmachari at any point of life.
Mm.
I mean, we were at home, we were brought up at home, but not in a regular guru school or that kind of situation. But I'm thinking there are so many opportunities now in these days that people are going to live there. They could have Banaprastha, like practice Banaprastha. Most of them have had no brahmachari training at all. But from Grihastha, they can go to, because they can go maybe rent a place or buy a place in any of the dhams and live a Banaprastha life. And I have seen, we find so many people doing that. So I'm not sure that I would buy your thing about Mandali will not become one of those. You do not know, Prabhu. Especially think about the people who were here, what kind of life they were doing. Because anytime I'm reading Prabhupada Lilamrita, and of course it is all Prabhupada's doing, but at the same time, they are also these people, they were like hippies. And because they realized they have renounced the ordinary life that people were doing, that is why it was easier for them maybe to accept the higher life also. So that is there. I mean, we cannot say like that only people who have gone to Gurukul or something like that can become that. And especially when I see that none of us have done that. And there are many people who are doing doing what so-called Banaprastha. I don't know what they're really doing in the dham, but I'm assuming that they're satisfied there. So that is good enough that they are doing Banaprastha.
So Mataji, yeah, good Mataji, and I really appreciate that this audience is really attentive. They caught, even the small details. So the definition of Banaprastha is Panchasham Vanam Brajat. You live in a forest. The Banaprastha in our society, what we are saying, that retiring life, that is actually devotional Devi Varnashram system. That is different definition, little different definition, where you live in a society where everybody is together and everybody is helping each other, and they are helping you to stay in a particular stage of life also. So what you are actually defining, that was somebody retired and went to India. You go to most of the, because I lived in devotees apartment also, they have almost same kind of amenities as we have in Western countries. Like I don't want to go into detail. The point is that Bana life or forest life is very austere, or the life of that real Banaprastha, what Srila Prabhupada actually went through. He was living in Radha Damodar temple as a Banaprastha. He was walking by himself. He was writing himself. There was no income whatsoever. That was like something without training, what was almost impossible. And And brahmacharya doesn't mean necessarily, Mataji, you have to live in a gurukul. Brahmacharya means the training, means like you have to wake up early in the morning, you study, you focus on study. There is no interaction with, opposite sex people, too much close proximity, not thought of them, that adolescent period, people have that kind of thought. So that kind of prohibition, that kind of, build up, consciousness build up is necessary for tapascharya, because otherwise you cannot actually do extreme level of tapascharya. It's not possible here. That why what I tried to actually say. If I gave a wrong understanding, that's my fault. I did not want to convey that.
Can I add something, Prabhu?
Yes, please, Benedict.
I think one of the, I don't know if it's lecture or disciple sangha from our Guru Maharaj, somebody asked about this sannyasi and vanaprastha in today's life, in our world, the society that we are. And Guru Maharaj gave a very nice explanation. He said, vanaprastha, the actual meaning which you just explained is it is the path which is not actually applicable today based on our circumstances in the world we are currently. So for us, people like us, vanaprastha will be a stage where you have done with all your duties of raising your kids and you're staying, even if you're staying in your own home where your kids are not there, and not engaging yourself in their worldly day-to-day business.
Excellent.
That you do currently when you are raising your kids and being there. So just renounce that worldly activities of my son has to be dropped to school, or I have to get this done for the grocery for my son or for my grandson. So if you do all that, then you are not actually in the vanaprastha. But if you renounce that activities and 50 plus, 55 plus, you are there and you are doing your devotional service, not engaging in the worldly relationship and work during day-to-day life, that is vanaprastha for us today.
Excellent point, Mataji. Actually, if you remember Kumari Mataji, who
Yes.
left her body a few years ago,
Prabhu.
I went to her home. I was talking with her son after she departed. I was kind of mesmerized to see her lifestyle from her
Yes.
inside house, that how she was living completely detached. It's like,
Yes, she was real sense vanaprastha. Prabhu.
real
Yes.
vanaprastha, even kind of sannyasini, right? She was
Yes.
completely dedicated to her deity worship, to her reading, and at that advanced age also, she was taking bhakti shastri courses.
Yes.
She was listening, unimaginable. That is real vanaprastha, and in devotional life, we focus on that part.
Yes.
But yeah, so but it comes naturally. So the point, something which comes naturally, even somebody, like if I go there, I see Mataji's living style, I may be startled that, oh, how she could do so much austerity, but it may not be an austerity for her.
Yeah.
But the people who are doing austerity to gain something, or for social culture, they may need to get some training in initial stage. And in fact, why vanaprastha is a precursor of sannyas in an ideal progression, because when you cross through that vanaprastha stage, you are so much trained that nothing in the material world will attract you, will bewilder you. That's why it is necessary. It is a gradual. However, in our society, how many people get sannyas actually after brahmacharya only? Many people, actually most of the sannyasis are direct sannyasi from brahmacharya.
Yes.
So it is not exactly that that stage of life, but again, there is training is necessary for each stage also. Or Prabhuji, that's what I wanted to actually say. Anyways, sorry if I mentioned something which is not in line with the shastra, so please forgive me. But happy to have your understanding and realization shared here. Yeah. Ruhi Mata, you wanted to say something?
No,
else?
I just wanted to say, thank you, Venugata Mataji. That is really good. I mean, if there are all the forests are cut down anyways, we cannot go to Amazon now. So what we do? I mean, we have to be given the place. If the place isn't there, you cannot go. But that is the thing. You can, if you really detach yourself, you can really detach yourself from all whatever there is that was binding you all this time, then that is Banaprastha. It doesn't mean that you have to go to forest. That's what I agree.
That's a good point. Excellent
Yeah.
point. Yeah. So in that context, I will give you a very famous verse from Sri Chaitanya Chaitamrita, which was spoken by Srimati. Actually, that is a verse of Srimati Radharani, but it was spoken by Lord Chaitanya. It says like, "Anner hriday mon monomoro brindavan mone bone eko kori jani taha tomar pododoy koroh jodi udoy tobe kripa sotto kori mani." So it says like, for other people, heart is mind, but for me, heart is actually Vrindavan. So for me, there is no difference between my heart and between Vrindavan. Mone bone eko kore jani, they are same. Taha tomar padoday koroho jodi uday tobe kripa sotto kori mani. That means if you manifest yourself in that Vrindavan, in that bond, that forest, or in my heart, then I will consider it as your real kripa, real mercy. So you can understand, these devotees are all Vrindavan devotees or Brajavasi devotees or any exalted devotees, they are already living in a different, transcendental realm where there is no material, contamination. So their heart is actually in that, even though externally maybe they are living in a very palatial house, but internally they are living in a very secluded place, which is aloof from this material contamination. So that should be our goal, to create a place in our heart which is as good as Vrindavan. That's why Krishna resides. Krishna doesn't reside anywhere else. He resides only in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So when that is done, then what is there for Banaprastha or other things? Yeah. So, but these are gradually, purificatory process, and we should not disregard that. Actually, that's one of the goals of a society, to establish Daivi Varnashram system, and for that we need to actually understand how these things actually cooperate with each other. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? I think the Banaprastha is covered, but yeah, okay. If not, we have time, 7 minutes time, right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, then let's read, actually, sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra for some time, and then we can actually conclude, because whatever discussion we do, whatever service we do in this Kali Yuga, it should start with Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it also should conclude with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, so I'll just sing. Or anybody wants to sing who are in the call today? I'll give that, and then Charles also if they want. Okay, no. Namayong Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavade Paschatya Desha Tarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Shitanath Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. जय श्री प्रभुपाद, जय श्री भागवत गीता की जय, समस्त गौर भक्त वृंदो की जय.
Jai.
So thank you everyone who joined today, and I ask for forgiveness if I have actually spoken something which may not be, the teachings of our acharyas, previous acharyas and the present acharyas. Please forgive me. I may have actually spoke out of my too much talkativeness, which may not be aligned with the teaching. So please forgive and just accept whatever is there aligned with the acharyas. I think that can purify all of us and make us engage in devotional service in a more serious manner. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
this
you very much,
opportunity.
Prabhu, for the wonderful class.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare